here. Okay, so we are back, and I want to go full screen with Tess here. Tess has some social media updates. So Tess, first of all, we wanted to thank our YouTube subscribers.
Yes, time to show some love to our subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Our top most recent subscribers are Rudy Hineskill, Mia Cool Paws, 9AXN, Paul Miller, The Gun Collective, Studio Max TV HD, Corey Smith, Nathaniel D. Guzman, Eddie Wee, and Media Apex Production.
Yeah, Steven, I think you'd like The Gun Collective. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's got 60K subscribers.
60,000
right
subscribers.
now.
He's a big-time YouTuber. Steven Nett said, I love that you can use a joystick to control them remotely. We didn't get a chance to really touch on that. Every once in a while, we highlight a comment from YouTube.
Been busy today on this show.
Been a busy, busy show today. So that is really is that a social media update pretty much?
Yeah, that's really it. Just that and the comment. I thought that comment was pretty relevant for today's joystick giveaway.
Okay, so where is our 3-person layout?
Pulling up the 3-person layout.
There we go. Okay, so in the post-show, one of the things I wanted to go over was asking Steven about his new show. I have a little layout here. So, Steven, you've taken your knowledge from live streaming and applied it to a completely new industry, and people are blown away by the production quality, is basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of my viewers who are also into they're outdoor enthusiasts, and when they found out that I like to hunt and fish, to get away from all the tech and the mundane things of the week, it kind of floored them, because that's not something you see an average geek doing. You know, you're either one side or the other. And then they were like, well, you know, why don't you go out there and start filming some of this stuff? We'd love to see it. I mean, if you put that kind of quality behind the outdoor stuff, we'd watch it. We're not into the outdoors, but, you know, we'll watch it. I mean, Marty, he's not into the outdoors really, and he'll sit there and watch it. And I listen to his critique, like, oh, I would have changed this. I don't really like that angle, or, you know, the audio wasn't as good here, but you can change it. But, you know, so I use that, you know, for, you know, doing this type of thing with different people. So I've kind of experimented, so I started doing this. And one of the videos that I did on just a holster review for a firearm, I bought the 2 holsters and I kind of compared them, and it had over 100,000 views in a year. And I think it's the #1 comparison video for those 2 companies on YouTube right now.
That's awesome.
And I was kind of like, wow, there may be something to this, right? So I started doing an interview show with people in the industry. And you see the hat, I'm wearing Scent Crusher. It's one of the new sponsors that I got, and I'll get to that. But I actually had the CEO on the show and did a talk show, and they were kind of blown away that I could put them on the screen at the same time as showing their product from their website while producing and interacting with the chat room and being out to so many different destinations and Facebook. And it really opened their eyes to the possibilities, because everybody thinks of like outdoors people as they're just people that are anti-technology, and I think in this day and age they're starving for people that know how to get their business out there just like anybody else.
Right.
And when you've got somebody that's kind of doing the crossover thing, where they're coming over from a broadcasting/tech background, but also has interest in the outdoors, they latch on to people like that, because now you show them value.
Yeah.
Right.
You're trying to break into the industry so they can help you there. Meanwhile, you have all this following, all these audience members, and you know how to do really good video reviews. You become valuable to them. And I think that if you have a niche out there, it's something that you're good at, I think it's worth investigating, even if you think, man, nobody would watch this. I hate to tell you, like, in a week's time, we reached over almost 16,000 people with just that one Facebook Live, not counting any of the other views. And I do have that if people wanted to see it. I'm very open with numbers. It's not important to me, but I use it as a judge to see, is there something that people want to watch with that? Or am I just spinning my wheels?
Yeah.
Quick question from the chat. Rick Parsley says, what type of gear is being used when you are streaming outdoors? Can
we just really quickly, the giveaway of the week is just about to finish, so I just want to show that. The giveaway just ended. So I'm just going to pull a winner real quick so we can get the winner going, and then we'll get to that question. So winner number 1 gets the free joystick controller. Winner number 2, Mike Lotta!
Our sidekick.
Mike Lotta, you won the joystick controller. Congratulations.
Are you still here, Mike?
The next 2 winners get the virtual sets. You do have to be here, so you have to just chime in and say, hey, I'm here, because you have to be live to win. Ian Britton and then Christopher Watts. Let's give them a moment to
Let me throw it in the chat.
to catch up here. And then, Stephen, can you answer that question about are you doing live things outdoors or just filming and bringing it back to the studio?
So right now, the only time I do any live would be like through Periscope or Facebook Live from my phone. But I am engineering a way to try to do it from a boat or from out in the woods. And that's the biggest issue that everybody has, right? Where you're out where there's no cell signal. So I focus a lot on doing really high-end video production on a boat using obviously relevant cameras. I'm not taking a studio camera out there. A lot of which, I'm using, like you can see all these videos on this production alone. This was shot with Google Glass and also with an iPhone.
Wow,
so
really?
all the videos in this intro that you pulled was all shot from an iPhone. This one was a Google Glass video. So that's one of the things I miss with Google Glass. But the iPhone, most people don't know, it takes very good video for post-production and bringing it in. And so what I'm doing is incorporating post-produced video in the field with a live interactive scenario where I'm cutting to this either in a live environment or a recorded environment where I basically narrate. I sit in front of a green screen and put up a nice outdoor background, and I'll say, hey, we were shooting this, and we were fishing, and we were aiming for these cats, and something happened, and then I say, take you to this, and then I show the footage, and I come back, and I'll be like, wow, wasn't that pretty interesting? So that's where I'm at right now with it. Like I said, this is only literally, No Boundaries Outdoors is only a month old, and I've been able to get on as pro staff on one of the companies that I'm with, and also field staff on one of the companies that I'm with, and be sponsored. So the companies see the value in it. And I know, Paul, you probably gotten asked, like, how do you get sponsors and stuff? Content is king. Presentation is king. How you deliver your content is king. And so that's kind of how I'm doing it. And it seems to be working, so I'm putting the time into this project.
There's a couple things I'm thinking
really
about. One is, and I hate to ever bring this up, but I think it's funny how in our niche, PTZ cameras, live streaming cameras, we're one of the only manufacturers that live streams every week. How crazy is that?
Isn't that weird?
You gotta use
Camera
what you have.
manufacturers, Sony, Panasonic, Fadio,
way.
where are you guys? Whatever. I hate saying it because I'm like, they're going to start a show and they're going to see how valuable just live streaming is and practicing what you preach, things like that. But the other thing I'm thinking of is the Gun Collective, one of our new YouTube subscribers that Tess mentioned. Okay, he is actually in Coatesville, like 20 minutes away from us. He has 60,000 YouTube subscribers. He gets 7,000 new ones every month, just by making really great content on guns.
Yeah.
Okay, and at first I was like, "Jeez, this guy's all about guns. Shoot me!" Like I'm scared of this guy. He comes in and he's been invited to host and live stream the NRA's gun show in Atlanta, and he's sponsored to do it. And he doesn't want it to look like crap. He's never live streamed before. So he's got a professional career. He's a content creator. He makes videos for a living. He's on his way to 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and he's going to live stream the NRA's big press conference, but he's never done it before. He's never done a live stream on YouTube or Facebook, and he's like, I want 3 cameras, and how the heck did you do that on your show? You'd be surprised out of the woodwork when you start live streaming. You know this, Steven. Tom knows this. Everyone who does live shows, you become this guy where they're like, how did you do that? And the amount of people that come to you and ask. And, of course, we involve our partners and get them the right gear that they need. PTZ cameras are perfect for that kind of thing. He wants 3 or 4 cameras, a joystick controller, Wirecast, or BMX on a computer. And he can easily live stream a really great production. But that's just one content creator. Like you said, content's king, just making great videos. Then move to live streams. You and I feel like, kind of did it backwards. We did really great live streams, right? And then built the audience there. and instead of doing the traditional, just make short videos and get the word out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't start into YouTube probably near as early as a lot of these people. I just kind of archive my shows. But I will put out a feature request or a selfish feature request for a PTZ camera since doing the outdoor stuff. I would love to see a waterproof one. Because I think hooking that up via USB or wireless, hint, hint, could be really beneficial in that type of scenario. Because you can control everything from a remote.
Yeah, we're always up for a challenge.
So there's two things on wireless. Did we post the video yet, Tess, or is it coming out tomorrow?
We had the Logitech video up with USB 2 Air.
Can we show them that real quick, Tess? So we do have a new wireless product. It's on Kickstarter. We decided to launch it on Kickstarter. Why? Because we want the press. We want to get like the huge. There we go. Oh gosh, it's right here. And basically, this right here is a wireless USB 2.0 extender. It's available on Kickstarter.
Oh, there you go.
On it. It's available for $250. You plug it right in to the PTZOptics camera, and you can wirelessly transmit 1080p video from that. Now, that's only 25 feet.
I don't have all the stuff.
Don't worry
about
it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
But so that's 25 feet of wireless, 1080p video, plus you can pass other USB video through it, like other devices. If you have, you can actually power this device off the SDI model. Did you ever notice the SDI models have a USB 2.0 port? That passes 5-volt power. So from time to time.
Oh, wow.
In fact, there are HDMI transmitters and receivers that are coming out now in the 60 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz spectrums. No, they're not cheap. They're like $300 to $500. But the cool thing with our SDI models is that a lot of times those HDMI transmitters, they just need a little bit of power. And you can plug the HDMI transmitter into the PTZOptics HDMI output, and they need usually about 5 volts of USB power. You can actually power the darn thing off the PTZOptics camera.
Yeah, I would love to see like something like what you have, maybe shrunken down, because I mean, when you're outdoors, you got to be able to throw something in your backpack. But something that's waterproof that could use some of that technology, either hardwire SDI or like your device that you have wireless. Because when, like, let's say you're talking about the guy that does the gun videos, I could see him setting a PTZOptics camera up maybe 4 feet from his target. Maybe he's doing some trick shooting or something, or he has somebody there that's doing it, where you don't have to put somebody in harm's way. You can have the camera down there with a fantastic zoom where you're zoomed in on a target, have another PTZOptics camera actually focused on the person, do a split screen, and show in slow motion, either in replay or even live, him shooting it and actually hitting the target so you know it's not set up. That's where I can see things like that, or archery, which is what I do.
Cool.
I don't know, man. I just think that more and more as I'm kind of getting heavily involved with this, I can see the outdoor industry looking for these types of things to produce better content. Because right now, there's really nothing. You have GoPro. That's it.
I know,
and
that's not really built for live.
No.
We did have a guy come on from Dotworks, and they make outdoor enclosures for our existing cameras. So people are putting them out there on trail cams, putting them up at like an eagle's nest and then running SDI off that.
Yeah.
That stuff's happening today.
The giraffe at that zoo.
Yeah, there was that one zoo.
People are addicted to that
right now. Oh my gosh. And one guy was streaming puppies, and they were getting, imagine how many views you get like that on Facebook.
Yeah.
But how many shares you get for live streaming puppies.
It was something like when I do my footage in here for reviews.
Just Mike.
I'm always using, like, if you watch some of the reviews that I've done on YouTube, I'm using these PTZOptics cameras and I'm zooming them in with presets while I'm recording it to the TriCaster as not live, but I'm recording. So I can just hit the button, and then all I have to do is, if it's not a clean switch or something, I can go in and edit it out, make some jump cuts in there. But it saves me a lot of time, and I'm just like thinking about it in the outdoors. I mean, that's something I think a lot of people, including myself, would buy to use for that thing, because we already use the cameras in the studio. We already know how they work.
Right.
So having that ability, I don't know if most of these people in here in the chat room, have a use of them, but I know Tom Sinclair does. he does sporting
He's good at
events.
this.
You know, I could see him, you know, jumping on board with a wireless one as well to use out there in the field as opposed to running wires all the time.
Oh yeah, in fact, Tom actually had on his show, they were doing basketball, and the HDMI
There you go.
transmitter they were using, that's the same one I would recommend. They have really great wireless HDMI transmitters on the market that go 100 feet, no problem, and they plug right into the back of the cameras. Waterproof stuff like that is something that probably isn't in the pipeline anytime soon. I think 4K is probably more important. NDI, maybe I shouldn't have said that, is more important. We got a lot of things indoors, indoor studios, indoor classrooms, indoor things that are just
I'm just
so
throwing it out
important.
there, man. That's
But
all
I do
I'm
like
doing.
it, and I'm so happy for you because you found a great niche that you're going to be able to grow into with great success. And I think a lot of us out there are thinking, a lot of people that I talk to, they want to learn about this stuff, but they're not exactly sure what to do with it.
Where
And
to
it's all
go.
about finding your niche, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that people think that if they're gonna, you know, if they have money, they're just gonna go out and buy a vMix or a Wirecast or a TriCaster, and they're gonna be an instant success in the live streaming broadcasting world. And I would kind of beg to differ. And I know, Paul, you could probably attest to this. There's a lot of growing pains when you're learning this gear. You have to learn the fundamentals. You have to learn the basics. So, you know, Marty and I, when we talk to people, we always say you have to learn how to crawl before you can run. And there's no shame in learning the fundamentals of a camera, the fundamentals of audio, the fundamentals of lighting, the fundamentals of, you know, positioning. Like I noticed your co-host, Paul, she's in a set that you built and it looks presentable. It looks awesome. And so this is something that a lot of people, they'll just sit in their bedroom with a bed behind them with their dirty laundry on the floor and try to do a broadcast and wonder why nobody's watching them. There's something to the presentation, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what we tell people, you know, learn how to crawl before you try running and just take your lumps because they're going to come.
I think the most exciting part of this show was your studio.
Yes.
Can we just look at it again,
I'm
Steven?
still-
Can we
Gee,
just
thanks,
see it
Paul.
one more time?
Next time I'll just record that part and send it to you.
The viewers love
just
this.
kidding. I'm
Everybody
just kidding.
wants to see that behind
Everybody
the
wants to see it again,
scenes
Steven.
action.
Oh, they want to see it again. So what do we want to see again? Do we want like the whole?
guess-
Give us a nice
let's go in
zoom
the
out.
wrong way.
Yeah.
That's not a green screen,
Cool.
which I thought it
This
was.
is
at
yes.
first.
This is not a green screen. And here's something else. I'll give you a little trick. Most people, when they set monitors up behind them, let me do this first before I do this. If you notice, you're looking at my monitors, right? You'll get a little bit of glare from the lights off the top because it's shiny, right? But if you notice that my monitors, there is no glare or kickoff really on the monitors from like a bright light on it, right? I have a little bit of the television reflecting back up here in the corner, but that's about it. So one of the tricks that you can do to get rid of this, right, is you tip your monitor forward. But it still looks like it's flat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if I put it back, and I purposely did this because I wanted to show people, if you look at this, all these monitors are actually going in an angle toward the wall. They're not straight, flat with my back. They're at an angle, and they're tipped forward. I take metal coasters, and I shim the back of the TV so they tip forward maybe 10 or 15 degrees, and it kills any of this, you know, glare or this kick. And then I have all my routers and stuff behind it. So I went out and bought this cover that you would put on those tube lights. It's like a frosted color cover you can get at Home Depot for like $5. I cut it and slid it behind it so when the light reflects off it, it looks like there's kind of like an ice look to it. And it's just simple stuff you pick up at the hardware store to kind of give your production a little bit better of a view. And you can kind of see nothing is straight here. You can even see it by the gap. So these foam things, they're perfectly square with the wall. They're all measured out. But if you look at the gap over here versus the gap over here, you can see how much of an angle that those monitors are really on. And then tipping them forward gives you the illusion and the better look for having it behind you. They don't look blown out like this.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw that out there to everybody.
And you've got is that a road case? Like, do you ever go mobile with this?
Not usually. I don't. This is just I have it in a rack just to kind of keep the sound.
Organize it.
I have inside of that rack. I have acoustic foam inside of it because it's sitting like I don't know, about 8 feet away from my microphone. So I have that inside of the rack. I have the acoustic foam just to kind of keep the sound down and then keep everything cool. Let's rotate around here. And then here you can see my Mac Minis, my extra Skype machines here. And then this is the audio playout. This is a real meter. And let's go this way. There you can see the other side of the studio.
So when do you use that couch
screen
area? When there's no pillows on
I
it?
used to do a sports show with a girl. She used to do throwing, and she would bring in guests in the studio, and there's about 4 lav mics over there that they would use. And I have a Skype. Let me see here. I have a Skype
There's so much history
preview
in this space.
monitor
Yeah.
right there. You see that?
What is that?
And then, I'm sorry?
What is that you're looking at?
That's a TV right over there. Do you see it on
Oh, I
top
see
of
it.
my,
Yeah, I see
my
it.
turntables there?
Oh.
Right by the chair. And then I have another monitor, which you can kind of see right there, that has program out on it. And then there is a TV. You can kind of see it right behind, right in front of the drum set there. It's like, it's kind of right, it's kind of right there. It's black, so you can't see it. But there's 3 monitors over there, one for preview, one for program, and one for the Skype guest, so that she can kind of, when she was doing the show, we had a camera there, her main camera, and that way she could see her guest. It made it look like she was looking right at her guest, and
Yeah.
it worked out really well. As you can see, even my door, I covered up all the windows with some mattress foam and stuffed the cracks so that you don't get any noise when the wind blows. Got air conditioners in both windows, which you never hear. And then there's the acoustic foam on the door to keep
You're just
if
so
wind
far
blows
ahead of your
outside.
time. You know,
Yeah.
this is something you'd think people will be planning to do now. You've been doing it for years.
Right.
You know.
It's a lot of work, man. It is that it is.
So you can basically live stream 24/7, you know, cold, hot, summer, winter, power's out, power's not out. I mean, it's like a bomb shelter.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good picture that you pulled up there. Yeah, that's a good shot of how I would do a single controlling the TriCaster via the iPad and
Right.
and like you said, broadcasting, doing whatever. I can do it all from the studio at broadcast quality to where it could go out to TV. I have the capabilities. And
You've basically got. How long did it take you to do this? When did you
Jeez.
start? Because I've heard Marty say this, and it really rang a bell with me. Iteration after iteration after iteration. You must have been doing this for 10 years, right?
I have been doing it for 10 years, and if you look on my YouTube channel and go way back to old videos, I've even pulled stuff off because it's just embarrassing because
That's the fun part, though, to go back and look at that.
Yeah,
I know.
You're not allowed to do that.
It-
Tisk.
well, there's certain things that it just I remember looking at some videos, and those that followed me for a long time, it's like 3 frames a second video. It's just awful. Very awful. Because I was learning. I didn't
Right.
know, and fortunately I had a lot of people around me that were kind of saying, okay, that looks bad, that doesn't look right. But yeah, I mean, I've just been, if you saw the wires in here, I do a really good job of hiding them.
You need USB
But if you
2X.
saw the wires in here, and you would probably be like, now I know why you build up all this over the years. Let me show you this. This is what I think people find the most fascinating.
Wow.
So I do have a camera right overhead. It's just like a security type camera, but it is HD. And then I just purchased like normal PVC conduit that you can get because I have an A-frame attic that turned into a studio. I actually just bought this conduit and designed this all out to where I can hang things from the ceiling. It is screwed into a stud. And I run video down one side, audio down the other. And it prevents any kind of things going amok, if you will.
Right.
And I left areas like that to where I can add maybe floating monitors down the road. But if you look, I mean, I've got
You need more monitors.
lighting hanging off that grid. And this is something to do. I did it for $50. You guys can go out and make your own grids in your own studios if you have low ceilings. I couldn't have it suspended because, I didn't have, I don't have the room. I'd be whacking my head off of it. So I just bought PVC conduit and used the boxes and screwed them to studs, and now I can clamp lights anywhere, attach converters anywhere. I can do any kind of tally lights anywhere. So it's great.
I think Michael Burgess was saying something along the lines of, if there's a zombie apocalypse, you're ready to live stream it.
Well, he might be right.
Oh my God! Well, thank you so much for coming onto the show, Stephen.
What's that?
Thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Anytime.
I think that we've pretty much covered everything.
Do you want to do the redraw?
I don't think we have to.
Okay.
If the main winner, we always give away one large prize. If they're not here, we do a redraw. But if the two people who won the virtual sets aren't here, I'll just email them the virtual sets.
You'll just email them? Okay.
Yeah. But thank you for reminding me.
I'm going to hear it in the chat.
Tess is learning from you're learning from the best, Tess.
Yeah.
You're learning from the guys who...
It was really nice.
Tess is getting thrown into this. She's
you.
never done live streaming. She's been here for like 2 or 3 months now. And she's getting tips from like all the industry experts.
All the best.
I can't wait till my kids... I can't wait till my kids are older and they're in their 20s, because my kids know how to run the TriCaster. They know how to run Wirecast.
They probably, they could crush me.
What are they going to do when they've got all my knowledge in their heads at this young age and they get older? I can finally retire and let them do everything.
I know.
The good part for me is that it's fun stuff. So it's easy to take in all this information and learn when it's fun. That's why so many people are interested in doing this, because it's useful and it's also fun. Well, maybe we're just like nerdy people that think it's fun. But
Well, Stephen, I can't thank you enough. It's been a really fun show. I'd love to have you on again. Are you going to be at NAB this year?
I don't think so. I think that they're going to kind of hold me back here to hold down the fort. But you never know. Things can change between now and then. But I'd like to get out there eventually.
All right. Well, I guess we got to meet in person one of these days. I might have to drive out and go on a hunting trip with you.
There you go.
Well, that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Michael can be found at thetechbuzz.net, PTZOptics.com. Next live giveaway is next Friday. Take care, everybody.
And that's all, folks. We appreciate your participation in the chat room and can't wait to host our next informative Q&A session. Your questions drive the conversation forward for live streaming professionals around the world. Until next time, happy streaming.
Really, like 75 is like where you want to...